Hello students, welcome to the subject of complex variable and partial differential equation. Myself Dr. Ankit Acharya, and as you all know that in last lecture we discussed about Lorentz series and we solved so many important examples. So in today's lecture it's very important topic, singularity and types of singularity. Totally theoretical topic to try to understand very carefully because there are so many definitions and all the definitions are very important like types of singularity. So as you all know that the definition of singular point, but now the next concept is types of singularity. So there are 3 to 4 types of singularity. First one is isolated singularity, then essential singularity, removable singularity, pool of order m. Okay, so all the definitions are very important exam point of view. So let's see how we define all these definitions. So first, let's revise the definition of singular point. A point at which the function f of z is not analytic is called singular point. Okay, is called singular point. So as you all know that in your case, most probably all the functions are analytic function like exponential function, trigonometric functions, all the polynomials. Okay, e raised to z, e raised to z square, e raised to z cube, sin z, cos z, tan z, and z, z square, z raised to 3, z raised to 4. Okay, and also logarithmic function, that is also analytic, right? So almost all the functions are analytic in your case. We already discussed this concept in our second chapter, analytic function, or we sometimes called it complex function. So that means what? In your case, function is not analytic if suppose at some point denominator become 0. Okay, so those points are called singular point, right? So as you all know that suppose this is my function f of z, that is equal to z plus 1 upon z square plus 4 into z minus 2. So we know that this function is definitely analytic function because on numerator the function is z plus 1, on denominator the function is z square plus 4, z minus 2. All are polynomial, and we know that the product of polynomial functions, addition, subtractions of polynomial functions, all are analytic functions. Okay, and now denominator becomes 0 at plus or minus 2i because z square plus 4. As you all know that z square plus 4, when we take z square plus 4, that is equal to 0. That means the value of z, that is plus or minus 2i. Okay, and if z minus 2 is equal to 0, then clearly the value of z, that is equal to 2, right? So plus 2i, minus 2i and 2 are singular points. Okay, now similarly suppose this function f of z, that is equal to e raised to z upon z square plus 9. So we know that z square e raised to z, that is also analytic function. In denominator we have z square plus 9, that is also analytic function. So e raised to z upon z square plus 9, that is also analytic function. But where denominator becomes 0, the function is not defined, so that's why function is not analytic. So that's why in denominator we have z square plus 9, and we know that z square plus 9, that is equal to 0. That means what? Z is equal to plus or minus 3i. Okay, z is equal to plus or minus 3i. Clear? Now types of singularity. Now next concept is types of singularity, and that is very important concept. First is isolated singularity. Isolated singularity. Okay, try to understand this definition very carefully. A singular point z is equal to z0, definitely z0 is our singular point, is known as an isolated singularity if there is no other singularity within a small circle. That means what? Suppose this z0 is a singular point, and at least we can define a small circle with center z0 in which, okay, in which there is no other singular point. That means in this small circle there is no other singular point except z0, right? So we can say that z0 is called isolated singular point. Now if you can understand this definition very properly, then that means what? Suppose you have finitely many singular points, then all are isolated singular points. I repeat the sentence. Suppose you have finitely many singular points, then all are isolated singular points. Why? Because finitely many singular points means between any two singular points you have a fixed distance, right? And if you take radius, smaller than fixed distance, that fixed distance in that circle, definitely you have only one singular point, right? Other than that singular point, you don't have any other singular point. So very important, if you have finitely many singular points, definitely all are isolated singular points, right? So in your case, most probably all singular points are isolated singular points, but it's not compulsory. Suppose, let's take this example. Very interesting. Exam point of view, this example is not so much important, but try to understand if you are really interested. F of z that is equal to 1 upon sine pi upon z. Suppose my function, that is f of z, that is equal to 1 upon sine pi upon z. Now try to understand very carefully. This function is not analytic. Okay, at which points? First of all, 0, because at point 0 this pi upon z is not defined, so angle is not defined, so that's why 0 is my singular point, right? And plus or minus 1 upon n, plus or minus 1 upon n, because at plus or minus 1 upon n, clearly n is a positive integer. Okay, so at plus or minus 1 upon n, denominator becomes sine n pi. Okay, and sine n pi means 0, so this denominator becomes 0, so 1 upon 0 is not defined, so that's why now my singular points are 0 plus or minus 1 upon n. Now there are infinitely many singular points, clearly, but if you can understand from this real line, okay, suppose this is my 0 plus or minus 1 upon n, so first of all I take n is equal to 1, so this is my 1 and minus 1, okay, then 1 by 2, 1 by 2, then minus 1 by 2, okay, 1 by 3, then 1 by 3, when n is equal to 3, then 1 by 3, minus 1 by 3, and so on. Okay, you can take n maximum as you can. Now all points are isolated singular point except one point. Which point? 0 is not an isolated singular point. My answer is 0 is not an isolated singular point. Why 0 is not an isolated singular point? Because when you take any circle with center 0, okay, at least for some n, plus or minus 1 upon n definitely inside this circle, okay, at least for some n, because when you take a circle with the center 0, right, so any small circle you can take, but for at least one n, plus or minus 1 upon n definitely inside the circle, right? So that's why this 0 is not a isolated singular point. Exam point of view, it's not so much important, but it's very interesting. Okay, so try to understand once again the definition. Isolated singularity means the singular point z is equal to z0 is known as isolated singularity if there is no other singularity within a small circle surrounding the point z is equal to z0. Otherwise it is called non-isolated singularity. Okay, now because of z0 is an isolated singular point, so definitely there exists a deleted neighborhood, right? 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than r, in which f of z can be expanded in Lorentz series, right? Because z0 is a singular point, isolated singular point, so clearly we can take circle with a radius r, right, with a radius r. Now deleted neighborhood means all the portions inside this circle except z0. Okay, so in this neighborhood we are not considering the point z0, right? So definitely we can expand our Lorentz series as the definition of Lorentz series. F of z, that is summation a n z minus z0 raised to n plus summation bn upon z minus z0 raised to n. Okay, where this cost summation starting from n is equal to 0 and the second summation, as you all know, that starting from n is equal to 1. Now this part, the second part, we called it principal part. Okay, principal part of f of z. Okay, The second part of the Lorentz series, we called it principal part of f of z is equal to z0. Now, all other definitions are depending upon this principal part. So, try to understand very carefully. The next definition is removable singularity. Now, when we say that z0 is a removable singular point, Bn is equal to 0 for all n. Okay, for all n. That means the value of B1, B2, B3, all values are 0. That means there is no principal part. Then we can say that Z0 is called removable singular point. In other way, the same definition we can also say in other way that if this limit exists, which limit? At z tends to z0, limit f of z exists. Okay, because this limit exists only if this part is 0. Because this limit exists, that means we have only the first part. Okay, this part is called regular part. Okay, so that means principal part is 0, because if this part happen, because in principal part at least one term happen, then definitely this limit does not exist, because in denominator we have z minus z0. Okay, and if suppose denominator we have z minus z0, definitely this limit does not exist. Okay, so in other way, the same definition we can say that limit exists. Which limit? Z tends to z0, limit f of z exists. Okay, and Bn is equal to 0 for all n, right? Let's try to understand the removable singularity with one example. F of z is equal to sin z upon z, and we know that the series of sin z, that is z minus z cube by 3 factorial plus z raised to 5 by 5 factorial and so on, divided by z. Okay, and clearly what is our singular point? What is my z0 here? Z0, that is equal to 0. Okay, z0 that is equal to 0 clearly, right? Because sin z upon z is analytic except the point 0, because at point 0 denominator become 0. Now with some simplification we get 1 minus z square by 3 factorial plus z raised to 5 by 5 factorial and so on. Now you can easily understand that this is the series where there is no term of 1 upon z, 1 upon z square, 1 upon z cube. So this part is 0, principal part is 0. Clear? So that's why the function f of z sin z upon z have singular point 0, and 0 is a removable singular point. Clear? Now the next definition is essential singularity. The next definition is essential singularity. If suppose a singular point z is equal to z0 is known as an essential singularity if the number of negative power term of z minus z0 in Lorentz series is infinite. That means what? This part, this principal part have infinitely many terms. Okay, that means 1 upon z minus z0, 1 upon z minus z0 whole square, 1 upon z minus z0 whole cube and so on. There are infinitely many terms in principal part. Then we can say that z0 is a essential singular point. Okay, so this is exactly the definition. A singular point z is equal to z0 is known as the essential singularity if the number of negative power terms of z minus z0 in Lorentz series is infinite. Clear? And let's try to understand this concept with one example. F of z, that is equal to e raised to 1 upon z minus 2. Now we know that the series of e raised to z, that is 1 plus z square by 2 factorial plus z cube by 3 factorial and so on. Okay, now instead of z, just put 1 upon z minus 2. So you will get this series. Okay, because I want to make series for e raised to 1 upon z minus 2. So 1 plus 1 upon z minus 2 plus 1 upon 2 factorial 1 upon z minus 2 whole square plus and so on. And clearly 2 is essential singular point, because there are infinitely many terms of 1 upon z minus 2, 1 upon z minus 2 whole square, 1 upon z minus 2 whole cube. Okay, and I hope you can understand that first of all, what is your singular point? Singular point is z is equal to 2, because at z is equal to 2, this term is not defined. 1 upon z minus 2 is not defined at z is equal to 2. Okay, so only 2 is a singular point, right? Now next concept is pole of order m. Okay, next definition is pole of order m. That means for that, once again, suppose this principal part have finitely many term. Okay, finitely many term means b1 upon z minus z0 plus b2 upon z minus z0 whole square plus up to bm upon z minus z0 raised to m. And after that, all the terms are 0. That means the value of bm plus 1, okay, bm plus 1, the value of bm plus 2, and so on. All the values are 0. That means there are only finitely many terms, okay, up to bm. So in that case, z0 is called singular point with pole of order m, with pole of order m. So now you can understand this definition. An isolated singularity z is equal to z0 is known as a pole of order m if in Lorentz series all the negative powers of z minus z0 after m power, now this is important, after m power are 0. Okay, so the highest power of 1 upon z minus z0 is m, right? But every time it's not possible that every function we can easily express in the form of Lorentz series. So just try to understand this method. Suppose you have function 1 upon z minus 2 and z minus 3 whole square. So z minus 2, clearly this is polynomial, right? Z minus 2, the degree of z minus 2 is 1, and how many singular points? 2 and 3. What are the singular points? 2 and 3 are singular points, clearly, because at point 2 and 3 denominator becomes 0. So 2 is a simple pole. Why it's simple pole? Order 1. If suppose pole of order 1, then it is called simple pole. Okay, so try to understand this definition also. And z minus 2, this polynomial have degree 1. So that's why 2 is a simple pole with order 1. And z minus 3, this is a polynomial with degree 2. So z is equal to 3 is a pole of order 2. Okay, so in today's lecture, just we discuss about singularity. First, you have to remember this definition. What is the singularity? At point where the function is not analytic, it's called singularity. And after that, we discuss about what is isolated singularity, what is removable singularity, what is essential singularity, and last we try to understand the definition of pole of order m. And after isolated singularity, all the three definitions are depending upon this principal part. Okay, that means if this principal part have no term, this principal part is 0, then it's called removable singularity. If this principal part have infinitely many terms, then it's called essential singularity. And this principal part have finitely many terms, then it's called pole of order m. Okay, so thank you.